Nothing but a former shy girl who found her voice through poetry and now uses her poetry to help others find their voice. For those who don't know me, I've been sick with the pen since the age of 10. But wait, isn't that Davis girl? The one who can't sing? Yeah, you're right, but put me in front of the mic on the right night and I can tell you why the cage bird sings. Yeah, I must admit, singing's not really my twist. I leave that up to Kite and my sister, and as for me, I'd rather do the poet thing. A poet, one who's well versed in the English language. A poet, one who can take simplistic words and phrases and make them reach into the deepest places. Yes, the very same ones that you try to hide. A poet, a mouthpiece, a crier of the generational cry, because I'm sick and tired of seeing my young queens being reduced to the plumminess of their tits, the juiciness of their ass, and what is in between their thighs. And for far too long, my young kings have been reduced to their ability to dribble a ball and rap a rhyme. Like, why is it so much easier for someone to instill in them that they have to chase a bag, even if it means die? For someone to sit them down and explain the difference in the amount of tree that goes in a quarter or a dime, than for someone to sit down and cultivate that young entrepreneur mind. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this world is in such a chaotic state. We have murders on top of murders, disasters sweeping the land. We have little boys and little girls who think their whole life is a mistake, that the world would be a greater place if they didn't exist. And please, don't even get me started on that modern day circus that we call politics. You see, this is why it's fit. Every singer, every singer, every poet, every entrepreneur under the sun of my voice have a voice and a choice, and I choose to use mine to uplift. So sit back and relax and enjoy the poetic silence of Nicki D the poet. If you guys, oh, thank you so much. If you guys haven't heard, I recently just released my third book, The Shy Girl Speaks, which is basically the theme for tonight. Like I previously stated, I'm a former shy girl. I was always the one that I always wrote poetry, but I was scared to like share my poetry because I didn't think basically my voice mattered and anyone cared what I had to say. So if you knew me growing up, you knew that I was always the one trying to like blend into the background because I didn't want to make too much of a noise. I was always the one following the rules because I just was basically merely existing. I wasn't living. I was so weighed down with so many different people in my ear telling me what I should be. I was so weighed down with society telling me what is beautiful, how I should act, that I didn't even know who I was anymore. So I had to get to a quiet place in order to find myself. But the thing about the quiet places, they had the most noise. You see, I hate quiet places because it causes my mind to run races, featuring the demons of my past. And it really doesn't matter who's first and who's last. Damn, I thought I passed this class. I thought I left these demons in the grave with no heartbeat. I was dancing and prancing about their defeat when they were really just playing possum. Knowing that losing the battle doesn't forfeit the war, I try to busy myself in my work, perfect my crafts, and get lost in my bars, but procrastination has always been my greatest downfall. Putting off to tomorrow what should have been done today, but what is today but yesterday's tomorrow? You see, I hate quiet places and all the noise that they bring. As soon as I unpack my bags on Easy Street, something happens, making me rethink the whole damn thing. But who's to blame? The cutler or the one who handed the retired swordsmith the knife? You see, I thought that once I got to the quiet place, away from the opinions of others, away from what society was telling me that I can be like, I thought that would be it. And then I thought that self-love would just click just like that. But clearly that wasn't it. I still had more work to do. I had to face the girl that was staring back at me in the mirror. Your inability to comprehend is so exhausting. I don't even know who you are half the time. We share the same person, yet and still we're nothing the same. I enjoy order, the syntax of things, while you act as if all your common sense is faded away, knowing damn well you wasn't raised that way. Take a look in the mirror, what do you see? A girl so flawed with insecurities that she allowed her light to fade. But you claim every year in your year, completing cycle after cycle, mislabeling everything as an obstacle. Baby girl, you're the only common denominator. Don't you think it's you that needs to change? Do you know who you really are? For so far too long, you used the foreign hair and the cosmetic makeup to hide the scars. I guess it was easier for you to pretend that they weren't there. But you want to change the world. You want to be this dynamic leader, the generational voice, and you don't know where to start. How about you take a look in the mirror? You can start right there. And as I got to this quiet place, as I was taking a look in the mirror, I realized that I was so comfortable putting on this facade for society. I was so comfortable with this mask that I built that once everything got stripped away, I didn't even know who I was. Who am I? But a mere girl caught in between two identities, somewhere in between who they want me to be and who I long to be. There is me. Me. Another nameless face in the crowd, blending in so effortlessly into the background that no one barely notices. And like words, left unspoken, I long to be heard. Me. Always known for following the rules. Now I wait to be told what to do and what to say. Honestly, most days I just feel like to rent an Airbnb, allowing others to rent space in my head at a price that's far too cheap. And then they have the nerve to leave their aura all over my prefrontal cortex. And it doesn't matter how much I try to cleanse my chakras. It doesn't matter how much sage I burn. I can never seem to forget the sting of their words that leave just enough poison that it becomes encrypted into my very DNA. No wonder I'm sitting up here questioning who I am today. The thing about self-love and a journey to self-love and self-care is society have you thinking that it's all mani-pedis, it's all good, but real self-care and the journey to self-love was the hardest thing I ever experienced in my life. It was facing some hard truths about myself, some things that I thought I was over, but clearly I wasn't over it. I would just bury them deep and deep into my closet. But I wouldn't change that journey for the world. Every sleepless night was worth it. Every tear I shed was worth it because on the other side, I became a more confident woman who found her voice and knew her purpose here. If you know me, you know I love blending into the crowds. Shadow child. Never doing anything too risky or too wild. I was the type that always colored inside the lines. I love to play it safe. But deep down inside, there was always this part of me that was trying to escape. And I tried to bury her. Under religious expectations, I tried to bury her. Under societal obligations, I tried to bury her because I was afraid that the world wasn't ready to see what was deep down inside of me. I had to keep this beast under lock and key. Little did I know a pen was a key. Because with each stroke of a pen, each stroke of ink, she can't sleep it out. A pen was a key that unlocked the gate that let this beast out. And now she came with so much power and authority that she could not be contained. And little did I know that Nicki D would be her name. And she was a poet, and the world would forever be changed by her pen. She was a poet because she discovered her message, her voice, and her purpose deep down within. She was a poet, far more complex than the roses being red and the violets being blue. For what is a poet if they don't challenge the inner demon in you? What is a poem if you hear it and remain the same? And what was the point of you logging in tonight if your world would not be forever changed? And the thing about this newfound confidence and self-love is that you can't have the same people around you. You can't have the same people doing what they normally do around you. And some people would really be mad at you for leveling up, for actually loving yourself. Especially dating. Because you have these niggas. Let me start off in this claim that there is some great guys still out there in the world. But then you have these guys that are used to recycling females, that are used to just running through females like a bad habit. And then when you come along loving yourself, they don't know how to handle it. So if you're a female like me and are tired of niggas just sliding in your DM with dick pics and basically they want to have sex with you without actually getting to know you, the next time they slide in your DM, you could just let them know this. I'm more than a sneaky link. I require phone calls, good morning texts, flowers, and dates. Oh, that's too much for you? I'll give you two options. Come correct or get the fuck out my face. And I don't care what I loved in the past, the woman I am today can't relate. You see, I'm more than a sneaky link. Heart shape emojis all up in my DM, writing me essays about how fun and chocolate I am and everything you would love to do. But I checked my profile. Not one like, not one comment from you, I guess. Public displays of your affection makes you uncomfortable. Which is funny because you sent me a picture of your erection even before you knew my name. You say you a fan of my work, that you love my poetry. But if you watch my last couple of videos, you would really know that I hate that shit. And I said it before, clearly you have problem with your comprehension, so let me say this shit again. I'm more than the fluffiness of my tits, the juiciness of my ass, and what is in between my thighs. So, let me get this straight. You think you could tap this ass when you can't even double tap a pic? Truth be told, without a meeting of mind, you can't even get her wet. Fuck you still doing in my DM for? You didn't get it through your Discord yet? I'm more than a sneaking link. Meaning, if you don't think enough of me to text me throughout the day, don't text me after 10 p.m. asking me what I'm doing. I'm in bed, legs closed, being the child of God that Spencer and Marlene raised. You know my biggest problem with you niggas of today? Number one, you don't know how to date. Half of y'all are a crappy lay. Always accusing a female of winning you for your money when you don't have a pot to piss in or wanted to throw it out. Always so quick to pull little Johnny out. But what's your status? When was the last time you got tested? When was the last time you even saw a PCP? Walking around looking like a walking STD, what I'm gonna need you to do is stay the further distance away from me. Now, typically, I'm not a bitch. And I really don't mean any disrespect. But if you think you ever have a chance of getting with me, I'm gonna need you to learn how to come correct. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank all the artists that came out and performed tonight. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys.
Yes, Nicki, love you, baby. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.